join.
Yes,
Ma'am,
sir.
shall we start? Divya, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, yeah, let's
Varnika?
start.
Yes, ma'am. A warm and graceful morning to all. Prayer is not asking. Prayer is putting oneself in the hands of God at His disposition and listening to His voice in the depth of our hearts. Now, I would like to call upon Day 3 of Grade 10 for the invocation.
Shri Rapi Shayana Narayana Shri Lakshmi Ramana Narayana Shri Rapi Shayana Narayana Shri Lakshmi Ramana Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Nata Jana Paripalana Narayana Nata Jana Paripalana Narayana Vaikunta Vasa Narayana Vaidehi Ramana Narayana Vaikunta Vasa Narayana Vaidehi Ramana Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Hari Narayana Nata Jana Paripalana Narayana Nata Jana Paripalana Narayana Shri Rapi Shayana Narayana Shri Lakshmi Ramana Narayana Shri Rapi Shayana Narayana Shri Lakshmi Ramana Narayana.
Thank you, Nidhi. A welcome is just not a welcoming smile, but it's a good start. I would like to call upon Shivani of Grade 9 to formally welcome the gathering.
A cheerful morning to one and all present here. It's a moment of great privilege and honor for me to extend a hearty welcome to all of you to this memorable occasion. We would like to extend a special welcome to our chief guest, Srimati Sheetal Agarwal. We are extremely overwhelmed to have you with us, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Very warm welcome to our chairman, Sri P. Satyanarayanan, Punvitya Mandir, and our beloved secretary, Srimati S. Nityanandi. Welcome, sir, and welcome, ma'am. We extend our amiable welcome to our guest, Dr. P. Ravi, Dean, NIOS and Outreach Program for DAV Group of Schools, Chennai. Welcome, sir. We also heartily welcome Srimati Malika Sridhar, Dean, Academic Partnership of DAV Group of Schools, Chennai. Welcome, ma'am. We feel privileged to extend a warm welcome to all the principals of associate schools. A warm welcome to our principal, P. Vinolton. Welcome, sir. It gives me an immense pleasure to start this occasion by heartily welcoming parents, teachers, and friends. Without any further delay, I would like to start this occasion by welcoming everybody once again. Welcome all.
Thank you, Shivani. Now, I would like to call upon Amitesh of Grade 11 to introduce our chief guest.
Hari, today our chief guest is Srimati Sheetal Agarwal. She is the founder of Clown Sellers Foundation, a volunteer-based organization engaged in medical clowning at hospitals, whereby humor is used to expedite the healing process. Medical clowning is a therapy to aid in the healing process by bridging the gap between physical and mental health and helping in relieving stress of guardians and caregivers. Srimati Sheetal started her medical clowning in Delhi in July 2016 and has received enormous support and appreciation from hospital authorities, health ministry, as well as people around. She lives by a belief that a simple, pure smile has great healing power and constantly works spreading smiles. Sheetal also conducts team building and stress management sections for corporate houses, hotel and restaurant staff, and hospital staff. He focused on co-learning and oneness, where personal growth, creativity, reflection comes with the hip hop. The activities are mainly about finding one's true self and accepting oneself and each other as they are leaving aside all kinds of barriers and masks, creating a space free of judgment and apprehensions. A good love heals a lot of hurts. I welcome Srimati Sheetal Agarwal to talk about the significance of laughter. We are extremely delighted to have you with us, ma'am. Welcome again, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amitesh. Now, I request our chief guest, Srimati Sheetal Agarwal, to take this platform to inspire the gathering.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Can I see you guys? I get my energy when I see people smiling. And now I can only see names, dark names. And as you switch on your
Children,
videos,
come on
please
video.
smile. Please smile, okay, when you switch on your videos. I can't see you smiling. Where are your teeth? Somebody took them away in the lockdown. Where is your teeth? Show me your teeth. Sir, I can't see your teeth. Can anyone see, sir?
Okay,
yeah,
ma'am.
now we can. Okay, good to see you guys. Others also. We are 93 of us. At least 50 of us can switch on our videos, I'm sure. We won't have any signal issues. Okay, let's start with laughing. Since we are calling it laughter is the best medicine, let me see how good are we at laughing. Okay, so we have to laugh for a minute without stopping. Okay, we can unmute ourselves and we'll just have to laugh. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Yes,
ma'am.
So let's all unmute ourselves and we will just laugh. 1, 2, 3. Hey, cheaters, you're not laughing. Laugh, laugh, laugh. And breathe. Inhale from your nose and exhale from your mouth. Again, one more time, we'll inhale from our nose and while exhaling, we'll take a deep sigh. Okay, inhale and exhale. One last time. This time, while we exhale, we'll make some sound. It can be any sound, but it should reach, the exhalation should reach the entire corners of our room. So breathe again, one more time. Inhale. Hold it, and exhale. Okay, I have a question. Quickly, you can write in the chat boxes. How are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? Quickly, tell me. I'm feeling very excited. Good is not a feeling, baby. Better is also not a feeling. Yes, relaxed is. I want to know, how are you feeling? Good, better, best is not a feeling. Happy, fine is not a feeling. Happy, energetic, relaxed. Good again is not a feeling. Please tell me, what good feeling are you having? Happy, happy. And don't cheat. You can also be bored, tired, sleepy, excited, Better is not a feeling. Light, relaxed, relaxed and happy. Again, good is not a feeling. I don't accept good. Free, feeling light, amused, very nice. Relaxed and happy, fresh, excited, relaxed, excited, fresh. Okay, everybody is feeling so positive. How come? Pleasant, funny, relaxed, relaxed. Nobody is feeling tired, bored, sleepy on a Saturday morning. How can you be such nice kids? Happy, happy. Okay. Okay. Now can somebody tell me why is good not considered a feeling? Why am I saying good, best, better is not a feeling? You can unmute and tell me. Relaxed, very happy, sleepy.
Can I tell, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead.
Good is we cheer people very good like that, so it's not coming in a feelings. And
Okay,
better
thank
too.
you. Yes. So good is not an emotion, right? Whatever value we attach to the emotion, good, bad, yes, positive, negative, these can be values, but these are not feelings exactly, right? And why am I talking about feelings? Because most of the time when we are talking about ourselves, how are we feeling, we are unable to acknowledge how are we feeling, because we have got trained to say good, okay, fine, not so good. But to really be happy, we need to at least know what makes us happy. Are we happy? Are we sad? Are we in not a very happy mode, but not sad also? Can we be like that also, that we are not really happy, but it feels lost? We are feeling lost. We are smiling, but there is something going on inside us. Does that happen? Yes. Okay. Now, when we do, so to start with, when we say laughter is the best medicine, what are we really talking about here is mental health, right? So, and there is this saying that we use in our medical clowning, or when we talk about laughter, that medicine has no laughter in it, but laughter has a lot of medicine. Now, what medicines does laughter have? Why do we say laughter is the best medicine? Can someone tell me this? What kind of benefits do we get from laughter?
Ma'am, shall I?
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
can I?
After Akila, you can.
Ma'am, if we are laughing, our depression will go.
Yes, stress will go. Yes. And who was the next person who wanted to speak?
Ma'am, me, ma'am.
Yes, Ashman.
Ma'am, when we laugh, ma'am, we some our stress get out, ma'am. As we laugh more and more, the stress gets relaxed, ma'am. Our muscles and also get relaxed. So that's a best medicine for stress, ma'am.
Right. Thank you so much. You guys are very smart. You don't need a celebrity talker, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Akila and Ashwan. So I'll just, yes, sir, please go ahead. You were saying something, sir.
Me?
Yes.
No. I just responded you. Like celebrity, you said. Our children always our celebrity, and there is no second thought about that. But
Yes.
today you are the celebrity. Please carry on. Please carry on.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we'll just talk about, since Akila talked about depression. So depression is basically a clinical disorder. And we have started using the term very loosely. But when we talk about laughter is the best medicine, we are basically talking about stress. Because depression is again another level. Of course, laughter helps in depression also. But from next time when you're using the word depression, just be very mindful. Instead of depression, use the word stress. Depression is higher form of stress wherein some kind of medical treatment is required. We'll talk about that later, but yes, rightly pointed out that what happens when we laugh or smile, all the muscles of the face get exercised. In fact, this is supposed to be the best exercise for the muscles. Because when we laugh, if you notice, it's not just the face, but also the body which starts feeling relaxed. All the muscles of the body suddenly feels relaxed. So why we did this 1 minute of laughter is because there is a study that proves that if we laugh for a reason, we can't laugh more than 15 to 20 seconds. While to really reap the benefits of laughter, we have to at least laugh for a minute. A minute is also very less. So the laughter should actually be for 15, 20 minutes. And laughter does not require any reason. We can fake laugh, and that will also produce the same benefits in the body as the laughter that is very natural. But if you notice, natural laughter will not last for more than maximum to maximum, it will go on to 30 seconds, and that too will give us a stomach ache because the muscles really gets exercised. Now, what are the benefits of laughter? Why is it called the laughter is the best medicine? Of course, it helps us release a lot of stress. So when we are talking about stress, what happens when we are stressed? Our muscles get contracted and there is some kind of a tension that we start feeling in the body. Now, when we talk about mental health, so you can see a connection here, right? That when we are saying that when we are stressed, muscles contract and our body starts feeling tight. So there is a connection between mental and physical health. But when we laugh, the muscles loosen up and we start feeling relaxed. So most of you, after laughing for a minute, said we are feeling relaxed. How did that happen? Because our happy hormones or relaxation hormones were released when we laugh. Now, it is not just a stress buster, but also immunity booster. So especially in COVID times, when we are talking about build your immunity, everybody was talking about eating something healthy, exercising and all of those things, right? But we really must include laughter in our diet and in our lives so that we can really build our immunity. In fact, when I was clowning at hospitals in COVID times, I was told by COVID patients that when we laugh, the anxiety suddenly drops and we start feeling better. The oxygenation is better. Oxygen, did you hear people say that there was so much shortage of oxygen? So when we laugh, it increases our oxygenation and it keeps our hearts healthy. And that really helps us stay healthy. So it's important to laugh also so that there is enough supply of oxygen in our body. So during COVID, I had friends who got COVID and they said that whenever we felt anxious, our oxygen levels just went down and we felt that we needed an outer oxygen. But whenever we were happy, we never felt that we need an oxygen mask or anything like that. So there is a direct correlation between oxygenation and laughter. Another very important benefit is that a lot of people suffer from blood pressure, hypertension. If we laugh every day, if we include laughter in our exercise regimen, we will actually not require medicines for blood pressure. Our blood pressure would stay in control. Also, there are some hormones that are released when we laugh. Can somebody tell me what are those hormones called? Have you heard of hormones? Do you know what hormones are? No? Okay. So our body releases a lot of hormones. Our body is made up of not just muscles, bones, but hormones and other parts also. With medical terms, I won't be able to tell you, but with every action, some hormone is released. And when we laugh, then there are 4 types of hormones that are released, which are generally in layman's language called happy hormones. Especially when we talk about endorphins, it is called happy hormone. And this is also called natural painkillers. So that's why when we talk about cancer patients or terminally ill patients, it really helps in the healing process because whenever we laugh, then the hope to live increases and it helps us also deal with the pain. So in fact, to give you an example, I'll just tell you briefly about what I do because maybe yes, serotonin, yes. I'll come to serotonin, but I'll just tell you quickly about laughter, or about myself also, what medical clowning is, or why am I dressed like a clown? Because there is a therapy called medical clowning, wherein we visit hospitals dressed as clowns and we make patients laugh. What is the benefit? We try to cater to the mental health of the patient. Whenever we how many of you love going to the hospital? Or do you like going to the hospital, falling sick?
Ma'am, as a visitor or a patient?
As patients.
Oh, no, I don't.
As visitors also, we always go with a long face, very anxious and stressed, right? So hospitals and stress or anxiety is interrelated. But every time we are hospitalized, nobody talks about anxiety reduction or stress reduction. The entire focus of the healthcare is on the physical body. We are constantly given medicines, we are put on tubes, oxygen masks, saline, but nobody talks about mental health. So medical clowning basically tries to fill the gap wherein we try to cater to the mental health of the patient, which research proves helps in better healing of the patient. In fact, when we started clowning in Delhi at Chacha Nehru Bal Chikitsalaya, which is a children's hospital, we were told by the doctors that doses of anesthesia were reduced for patients who were exposed to clowning preoperative compared to children who were not exposed to clowning. So these are also the benefits of laughter or smiling or just being happy. In fact, so going back to what I was saying, talking about natural painkillers, I was clowning at a cancer hospital for adults in Delhi a few months back, and there was this middle-aged man who was in a lot of pain. Like he kept saying, it's paining too much, bahut dard ho raha hai. And I said, okay, let's do some laughter exercises, breathing exercises. And we started laughing. So we'll also try those exercises. But once he started doing those exercises, after 2-3 minutes, he started feeling better. So this is how the laughter or happiness works on the body as well. And why endorphins are also called natural painkillers. Now, serotonin, somebody said, so these are special chemicals, or these are also called neurochemical, which helps us to be in good mood. Like what happens when we are in a bad mood, there is proper serotonin is not released. But when we laugh, serotonin is released properly, which helps in mood boosting. Another hormone which is important is oxytocin, which again helps in keeping the muscles and mind healthy. Then another hormone is dopamine, which is also called reward hormone. So what happens when somebody gives you a compliment? Do you feel happy? If I tell you, oh, wow, you have such a beautiful smile. Almost everybody was smiling. So this is a reward hormone. So whenever we get an appreciation, dopamine is released, which helps us feeling positive and better. So our mental health immediately starts feeling positive, which in turn makes our body feel better. So when we talk about well-being, we keep talking about we should exercise for well-being, we should talk good for well-being. But what exactly is well-being? It is 50% of mental health and 50% of physical health. So if we are exercising, yes, it is helping in the physical body, but are we doing some meditation also for the mind? That is also important. And why is breathing exercises also important? Because that also helps in relaxing our body and helps keep our mind calm, which in turn helps us feeling positive. So I don't want to keep talking and bore you, but this is mostly why laughter is called the best medicine, because there are a lot of benefits which are medically proven, or there are research studies that proves that laughter has these benefits. Also, laughter is also called neurotransmitters. So it gives signals to the mind and body to feel better. Or so it's also called mood elevator. Let's try some laughter exercises, and after that you tell me how are you feeling. Okay, since we were talking about laughter exercise, I am assuming that everybody likes chocolate shake. Do you like shakes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You have to be on video for this, yeah. Otherwise, it will be very boring. We will be just 4 of us seeing each other. Let's make a deal. For next 20-30 minutes, let's not switch off our videos. Okay? It's uncomfortable. Similarly, laughing without reason is very uncomfortable. We keep making the sounds but we don't laugh. So this time we will really practice to laugh. Okay. Okay. Let's take 2 glasses and make laughter shake. Where are your glasses? I'm assuming that whoever is not on video is also doing the exercise. So we have to do E, 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 and okay, so this is our laughter shake. So we are making laughter shake and then drinking. And laughter shake would only taste nice if we laugh. It's called laughter shake. Okay, let's try. We'll all go together. 1, 2, 3. E, E, E. Okay, your laughter shake is not very good. Yeah, not sweet enough. We have to really laugh. Otherwise, it will taste sour also. It won't taste sweet. Do you like sour taste shakes? Would you like sour shakes? No, right? Okay. If you can unmute, that will be even better because I'll also feel okay, somebody is laughing with me. Okay, this time we'll do it faster. Let's make laughter shake a little faster. Okay.
Children, come on video mode. Children, please come on video mode. Switch on your video mode. Let's do the activity together. Today is going to be a different day. You're going to enjoy the whole day. Come on, switch on your video mode. Good. Yeah. Come on, others, please. Sorry, ma'am, just a couple of seconds. We'll make everyone come on.
No problem.
Come on. Yeah, great. Yes. Happy to see you all. Shivani, Hashini. Yes. Come on. Yeah, fine. Ma'am, we shall make it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start. Let's
Start.
do.
Where are your glasses? And we go E, E, E. Yummy.
Great.
Okay. Now let's blow a balloon. Okay, this is a magic balloon. So we don't see this balloon, but we can actually blow this balloon. Okay. So where is your balloon? Is it in your hand? Can I see? Yes. Okay. Now we start blowing, but this is a magic balloon, so it will only blow when we laugh. Okay. Laugh and blow air in the balloon. Okay, should we all go together? And your balloon can be as big as you want. Okay, this big also. Okay, let's go. Small balloon. Let's start with blowing air, laughter air. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Let's play with the balloon. Let's play with the balloon. Laugh and play.
Come on, all play with your balloon.
You have to laugh and play, otherwise balloon will burst. Like my balloon is not there anymore. Yay, Mukund. Yes. Okay. Now, since we are all doing online classes, and do you guys face Wi-Fi issues? Like sir just told me that maybe I have a connection problem. Do you face connection problems a lot of times? Online classes? No. Okay. My Wi-Fi generally acts up. So this is called Wi-Fi laughter. Okay. So next time when you don't get a connection, what we can do is have antennas here. Can I see your antennas? Can you see my hand? Put your antennas here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. And now we have to look for signal, but we have to laugh and find the signal, okay? Darshana, I can't see your antenna. Sushmita, I can't see your antennas. Tanishka also.
Yeah,
Please
Rasanya,
let me see your antennas.
Shivani.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And we find our signals.
Laugh louder, everybody. Come on.
Oh my God. You have to find the signal, and till the time you don't laugh, you won't be able to find the signal, okay? And when you find the signal, the laughter has to be even louder. Yes? Okay, let's try it again. You can unmute so that we can hear your laughters. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's find the signal.
Louder, louder, everybody. Come on, join. Great. Come on, come on. Great. Great. Louder. Yeah.
Who else found their signal? Let me hear you laugh.
Yeah. Excellent. Great, great, great. Louder, louder. Everybody.
Superb. Very nice. Finally, you got your laughters. Now, one last exercise, okay? What happens when we eat a chili? What kind of an expression do we get? Ah, so spicy. Yeah. So this is called
It's too spicy.
chili. Yeah. So we just have to show it on our expression, but we will keep laughing while we feel the spice of the chili. Okay. So this is called chili laughter. You can all practice this with your parents at home. Okay. So here is our chili. Cool. Can I see you holding your chilies? Chili. And you take a bite. Bite into the chili. Okay. Breathe. Simple breathe. Just breathe. Yeah. So, did you guys have fun?
Yes,
You only
ma'am.
can have fun.
Yes,
when you laugh,
ma'am.
okay?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Good. Okay. Now, another important question here is that when we laugh, after doing our laughter exercises or after laughing, why do we then have to breathe?
Ma'am, to get fresh air.
Okay, yes, to get fresh air and
Relax.
relax.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Ma'am, by breathing, we can't breathe the air, ma'am. So after laughing, if we are getting a comedy, we are laughing, ma'am. So after that, we will keep our hand and look breathe because we doesn't get the air to breathe, ma'am. So after laughing, we breathe means it will be get air, enough air for our body, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes. So when we talk about air, a lot of time we start feeling breathless if we laugh too much, right? And that is why we also get a stomach ache, or we start saying, oh my God, oh my God. So we kind of start feeling that our oxygen is kind of going away. But that is nothing. It is just body reacting really positively, and there are so many hormones being released that to settle the body, it's important that we breathe to bring our body in a relaxed mode, because when we are laughing, we become very worked up, right? So if we are laughing out loud, then suddenly we would feel that, oh, there's some aches that we feel. But just when we take deep breaths, we start feeling relaxed. The whole body starts feeling relaxed. And whenever we laugh too hard, it's important that we breathe, take a pause, breathe, and then again laugh. So when we do laughter yoga, that is something that we always practice. And what we do is, even if we are laughing like ha 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 ha, we'll come back, put our hands on our chest and just breathe. And breathe till the time our heartbeat starts feeling normal. Okay, so even if you're doing this practice at home, please remember to breathe and bring your what do you say, nerves to a relaxed mode. Now, when we talk about mental health and we've talked about laughter, why is it important to take care of our mental health? This is a question for everybody. And how do you take care of your mental health? Do you do anything to take care of your mental health? So the first question, let's break it. Why is it important to take care of our mental health?
Ma'am,
Yes,
because if our mental health is not stay or not good, ma'am, so our whole body feels so tired and not the day will be not fresh or not give many positive thing. Everything will be a negative, ma'am. So when the mental health is very happy and doing fresh, the whole day will be fresh and energetic mood, ma'am. So that we need mental health is most important, ma'am.
absolutely. Very good. Thank you. And what do you do to keep your mental health healthy or take care of your mental health? Somebody said meditation. Divya said meditation.
By playing.
By playing, yes. But not video games, okay? No free fires.
Ma'am, praying God. Ma'am,
Praying to God.
ma'am, can I
Yes.
say, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, by hearing music, we will get some relaxation in our body, ma'am. So hearing music is
Right.
also a better way for me.
Right. So there are many ways.
Hearing a calm sound.
Sorry. Go ahead, Sushmita. Say that again.
Ma'am, hearing a calm sound.
Okay. Calm sound or music. Okay. Then somebody said by sharing our emotions, of course, keeping ourselves active. So here we can see that there are many ways to keep our mental health active, healthy, or just to take care of our mental health. And it will change for each one of us. Maybe I don't like listening to music, I like sleeping. Maybe somebody likes playing, somebody likes to sit under a tree, watch nature, watch birds. It can be different for everybody, right? And there is no judgment on that why are you not doing this is better. There is nothing like better. It is to each his own. So whatever you like doing, you must find time, at least 15 minutes of the day, that you do doing what you like, but also which is good for your mental health. Now when we are saying playing, what it means is really indulging in activities. It does not mean being on screen. It might give us that momentary happiness, but it is not helping us stay good in our mental health, because a lot of times most of these games that are online involve a lot of violence, and whenever there is violence that we are even watching, it has a negative impact on our minds. It never produces any positive impact. So whatever we are doing, it should have some kind of a calming effect or a positive effect. That is something that needs to be kept in mind. And even when we are playing games, it shouldn't be that I'll hit you, you hit me. Those games again are violent games and they're not having a positive impact on our mind. So we have to be very careful about that. Also, in earlier times, there used to be an exercise that people used to do just to keep their muscles active or exercise their muscles. It used to be a pen or a pencil kept between the teeth. Now what happens when you do this? The brain receives a signal that you are smiling. What happens when we smile? Our lips go broad, right? So how do you trick your mind in believing that you are happy or you're smiling? So this is one of the exercises, but we don't really have to do this because we can in general smile. Smiling is not tough. We can smile in 3 steps. There was this in some movie also it was shown that you do 1, 2, 3 and it will be like ee. We can just do this, right? So 1, 2, ee, and we can trick our mind. Now, when we talk about tricking our mind, do you watch Hindi films? Do you watch Hindi films? Have you watched Three Idiots?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll just tell you a little. In that movie, there was this dialogue that all is well, all is well. There is also there's a song also which says all is well, all is well. Now, if we look at scientific studies around mental health, you can actually trick your mind in believing that everything is well. And this movie kind of takes that. So whenever there is some kind of a tension, or for example, for you guys, the biggest tension would be you don't know a question in the exam or the exam paper is too tough. And you start telling your mind that, okay, all is well, all is well. And you will feel what happens then is that the mind feels that, okay, there is not much tension and we can work this out. And when you're relaxed, you can really solve your problems better. But when we get very anxious, what happens? We are unable to find any solution. We keep getting in that panic mode that how will we do this? We don't know this. How will we do it? But when we say all is well, we can really trick our mind. So this is another trick. The last thing that I want to tell you about mental health is that please acknowledge, this is from where I started also, acknowledge how you're feeling, because then only any tricking or any kind of work can be done. So it's important that you sit and ask yourself, how are you really feeling? And maybe to others we can lie, but we don't have to lie to ourselves, right? So maybe when the mother asks, are you okay? We might say that, yeah, I am okay. But inside us, we should know that how am I feeling? Am I feeling lost? Is something troubling me? And it's okay to even sit with it. It's okay to feel angry, to feel frustrated, to feel sad. There's nothing wrong with it. But just choosing that, okay, right now I'm sad, but I want to feel better. That is important. And to feel better, we can start tricking our mind. We can start doing some exercises on also seeking help. Like when somebody rightly said, sharing our emotions. That's extremely important to keep our mental health better. So what happens when we have an ache or a pain? We go to a doctor, right? If we have some headache or a stomach ache, we tell our parents that I'm having this ache and I want to go to a doctor. Similarly, if there is something troubling us and if we are feeling too stressed and we are not able to deal with some problems, we can definitely seek professional help. And we must go to a professional counselor for that. And there is no shame in that. You don't have to feel that, oh, if I go to a counselor, if we talk about a counselor, that means I'm losing it, I'm mad. No, nothing like that. You're not dying if you go to a doctor. Similarly, if you're going to a counselor, it's not like you have some mental issues, but you're just trying to take care of yourself. And when we are talking about well-being, again, it's important that physical and mental health are in balance or tandem with each other. Okay? Is that okay? Will you be able to share your problems? Do you share your problems? Yes? No?
Yes, ma'am. I share my problems with my parents and siblings, ma'am.
Great. And you can always choose to go to a counselor also. Sanjay, yes, please go ahead. You want to say something, Sanjay? Okay. Okay. And yes, this session is called Laughter is the Best Medicine. So going back to what can we do when we are feeling really down or stressed, if we are feeling that, oh God, exam is here, I'm feeling too stressed, we just smile and laugh for a minute and we'll feel better. And that way we'll be able to prepare well. Okay. And another thing that we can do, which I really practiced in the lockdown, was giving a hug to myself. So we'll try doing that. Okay. Do you like hugging others, like hugging your parents or friends or siblings? Do you hug them? Do you hug? You can say yes, no,
I
same, thumbs up.
love my parents, ma'am.
Yes. And during the lockdown, we could not hug much, especially people like us who were not staying with our parents and who could not meet friends. So, hugging also has same benefits or similar benefits as laughing. And for a human to stay healthy, one needs at least 7 to 8 hugs in a day, which should last for at least 20 seconds. Okay. So if we can't find somebody, or if there are times when we can't hug anybody and we have to maintain physical distance, we can really hug ourselves. Okay. Let's try and hug ourselves. So we just spread our arms out. All of us, spread your arms out and hug yourself tightly. You can close your eyes and just feel that hug. Feel love for yourself. You can say I love you to self. I love you, self. You can say your name. I love you Sheetal. I love you, my clown. And just embrace yourself completely, totally. And there is no shame. You're hugging yourself. There is no shame in it. Hug yourself. Say I love you. And if your body is feeling, some part of the body is feeling tired, heavy, just touch that body part and say I love you. I love you, my thighs. I love you, my shoulders. I love you. I love you, my back. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. I love you, my feet. I love you, my eyes, eyebrows, nose, cheeks, chin, ears. I love you, self. And we give another tight hug to ourselves, really tight hug. And thank you. Thank you so much. One last question. How do you feel? Whoever gave themselves an honest hug, do you feel something? Some change in yourself right now? Yes, Darshana, I can see you nodding. Can you tell, if it is okay with you, can you share what is the difference that you're feeling?
Maybe a stress-free thing, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Positive, basically, right? When you say stress free. Anybody else who wants to share how you're feeling after hugging yourself? Full energetic. Proud about myself.
Comfortable, ma'am.
Comfortable.
Feel positive, ma'am.
Very nice. And yes, self-love is really, really important, which is underrated. So please learn to love yourself, because when we learn to love ourselves, we can love others much better. Unfortunately, our society keeps talking about loving others and not loving ourselves. But if we start loving ourselves and embracing our weak points as well, life would be better and we will be able to smile and laugh more. Because in this competition to be perfect, we are kind of, constantly telling ourselves, where do we lack? Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm such a failure. I won't be able to do it. Instead, can we just be grateful that I am alive and I can smile and laugh and I can help people. I am able to study. I'm here watching so many people online, which so many others would not be able to do. So just being grateful also is a very is an act or is an exercise that really helps us feel better, positive, and also keeps our stress levels down, because instead of focusing on negative, we are focusing on positive. So the bottom line is that all of this helps us stay positive, and that in turn helps us stay healthy. And laughter ranks at the top in the list when we talk about positivity. That's it from my side. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Hari Om, ma'am. I'm Manisha of grade 8. May I ask you one question, ma'am?
Definitely.
Could you please suggest us some ways to overcome stress?
Definitely. So whatever we were doing right now, these were ways of overcoming stress. Like one is, of course, smiling, forcefully smiling and laughing. This is one way. Then hugging yourself. This is something that I tried during the lockdown, which was very stressful, and that instantly provides stress relief. Third, of course, is talking about it, or you can also start journaling. Journaling basically is you can just write your emotions. You don't need to share it with anybody, but you just write it down and you can keep writing. Or there is a daily practice that we say that you just write freehand. Every morning when you get up, you just write, keep writing how whatever comes to your mind. That also helps us relax. And you don't have to make sense of it. You can just write and then tear the paper and throw it away. But all of these things help. And also doing something that we like doing, which helps us stay positive, like maybe talking to a friend, listening to music, singing, or studying. If for, I don't know, it was never a stress buster for me, but if somebody likes studying, then that can also be a stress buster. But doing something which helps us be positive.
Thank
Ma'am,
you, ma'am.
I'm R. Akila Nachar of grade 5. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, how do we have to control our anger, ma'am?
Good question. I'm also trying to look for an answer to that. But yes, as a clown, actually, we are told that we don't really have to control our anger. We can be angry as long as we don't harm another person. So, anger in itself is not a bad thing. It is considered to be really bad. But as an emotion, it is a very normal and a natural emotion to feel. And if we are angry, and if we can just sit with ourselves and not harm anybody, then there is nothing wrong with it. Because the more we try to control our anger, we are kind of what do you say, piling up emotions inside us. And the more we keep piling on emotions, it will just burst like a volcano someday. The lava would just burst. So instead of controlling, just acknowledging that we are angry, and even if with our parents, we can politely tell them that right now, don't speak to me. I'm angry and I just let me be for some time. That is also good enough. But it's important to be angry. It's important to not control it sometimes. But yes, don't start banging doors and throwing utensils. That's also important. So that is the control mechanism that we need.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Nikita, your voice is cracking. We can't hear you. You can type it in the chat box, Nikita, because I guess your signal is quite weak.
Meanwhile, someone else can try.
Hello, ma'am. Greetings. This is Jyoti Prakash from grade 10.
Hi, Jyoti.
Ma'am, what effects do sentiment scenes from movies have on us? Because we cry on sentiment scenes.
So there is a word called empathy. When we watch something, or compassion, we all have a tendency to feel certain things. And if a movie actor or something, a scene connects a chord with us, whatever that person is feeling, whatever they are acting, it starts feeling connected to us. Either that scene is connected to us, or that actor is connected to us, which is why that sentiment is kind of seen in us also. Another reason is that we in our head, our subconscious starts associating some experience of ours with that particular incident. For example, if I have felt the similar way, like maybe I flunked my exam, and I am seeing that kind of a scene wherein somebody flunked his exam, and then the parent is scolding them, and somebody tries to console me. So that scene would really strike a chord with me. It would, my subconscious would take me to my experience, and I would start feeling the same kind of experience, emotions. So that's how something that we are seeing has an impact on us. And also it depends how emotional are we as a person. So for some people, no amount of emotions make them cry, or they just watch it like a film. But for a lot of people, every emotion strikes a chord. Like if somebody is being beaten up, we start feeling sorry for that person. We start feeling, oh God, don't beat them. So this is also the kind of person we are. What kind of a personality type are we? That also has a role to play. Okay, Nikita's question is, what best advice do you want to
Thank
give
you,
to
ma'am.
us?
Thank you.
Did it answer did I answer your question, Jyoti Prakash?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, Nikita says, what best advice do I have to give as to be a good human? For me, I think since I have started practicing medical clowning, the only advice that I have is don't forget to smile. There's so much smile can change for us as well as for somebody else who is seeing us smile. I remember when I was growing up, everybody used to smile at each other when I was a child, basically. And while I was growing, I started seeing so less of that. People stopped smiling at each other. And now we are at a point wherein if we smile at somebody, we are given those suspicious look. Why are you smiling at me? Do I know you? What is up with you? Have you lost it? Are you mad? These are the kind of reactions that I have received. So if we all start smiling more often, world in itself would become so much better. We'll develop so much compassion for each other as well, and we would really be able to connect with each other. Just a simple act of smile, which is not even considered anything, this can really make a difference. And I would just request you all to just start smiling more often and smile at strangers, laugh with strangers. That is the best medicine possible. uh, Nitya Nanti, great session. I have a couple of questions. How a counselor differs from a counselor? What is the one best quality that a counselor has? Wow. Thank you for this question. Counselor is basically, we don't have a background in psychology. We don't study psychology. But as in India, unfortunately, we don't even have a course around medical clowning. So there's nothing called a counselor. Counselors is something that we came up with when we wanted to name our group. So we thought that because we are dealing in mental health, so counselor, and clown, of course, because we are doing medical clowning. So that's how counselor word came up, and we're called counselors. But the basic difference is that counselors always talk about the problem. We have to really talk about the problem. They try and make us look at the problem more deeply and how we can work on it, while a counselor tries to distract you from the problem and does not talk about the problem at all. So the first lesson that I received when I was learning clowning, as an online and from others, it was that one should never ask what happened, because then we are again touching the wrong nerve. The moment I'll ask you what happened, you will again start talking about the problem and feel the same pain. Instead, we try and distract them from the pain. So that's one of the basic differences between a counselor and a counselor. Best quality that a counselor has, for me, it is compassion and really feeling each other's pain, and spontaneity. So for a counselor or a clown, medical clown, we don't perform, we engage. So here also I was trying to engage. There was no performance. And the engagement is how you are responding to it. What is the spontaneous requirement of the situation, and how spontaneously can we enact that. That's the best quality for me. For me, of course, the best quality is, of course, empathy and compassion. How to calm down the social anxiety? By just jumping into it. So to tell you from my own life, I have been an introvert. I always felt that I was an introvert. I could never speak to people like this. In fact, if there were 4-5 people, I would just smile. Smiling was my defense mechanism. And so I had the social anxiety, of course. Every time I went on stage, I felt so uncomfortable and so scared. But once I started clowning, I realized that these are all some things that society taught me. Because I used to be shy, I was told that I'm an introvert, and I started believing I'm an introvert. And I never even pushed myself. So the moment we start pushing ourselves, okay, let's just try this, let's try and talk. That is how we can deal with the social anxiety, and also acknowledging and knowing that it's okay to not be social. One doesn't, or not everybody can be social, not everybody can dance in a crowd, and it's okay, it's absolutely normal. So just knowing that can also be very calming. Okay, ma'am, I'm Amitesh. How to motivate ourselves when we fail in a situation? Thank you for this question. As clowns, we love failing, because the more we fail, the more we can try different things. So what happens when we fail in normal life is that the moment we fail, we give up, or we give up before even trying. Just the fear of failure is so bad that we end up giving up. And so as clowns, we are told that keep trying. So we love failing because then we keep finding new ways. Like for example, i'm trying to I'm wearing my specs, but I don't have lens in it, and I'm like, oh, I can't see, and then I'll just let it be. Okay, chodo. Instead, can we be like, okay, can I try this? Oh, I look so cute. It's okay if I can't see, but can I do this? Can I still clear my eyes? Okay, I don't have lens. See, I can wipe my eyes like this. So just keep on trying things. Or okay, if I can just put this on my lips. Okay, this is also good. So trying out different things, and that is the biggest motivation. That what if, and also accepting failure. Just accepting and moving on. That if I didn't fail, how would I know that I'm capable of this or not? So that is the biggest motivation. Okay. One incident as a counselor I remember the most. Okay. This is like the most difficult question because there's so many incidents that I remember mostly. But recently there was this. I was in Udaipur clowning at Gitanjali Hospital, and there was this teenager, about 14, 15 years of age, girl, sitting very quietly and not talking to anybody. Her mother was sitting in front of her, but she was also looking pretty sad. So I went and started clowning, and like I said, it's very spontaneous. So I realized that she is not very fascinated by the clown, and she's not interested. So I stopped and I started talking to her. I was like, "Don't you like smiling?" She said, "What is there to smile? What's so good about smiling?" I said, "Nothing." And there I was just sitting with her, just chatting about random things. And then I said, okay, this hospital is, I don't know why they're asking me to do this. What's the point? Why are we even smiling? And suddenly she smiled. And she said that, then I asked her, now why are you smiling? You don't like smiling. She smiled even more. And then she said that because I'm in hospital, I didn't want to smile. It's not like I don't like smiling. But then I asked her that, do you feel better now? Like, since you are smiling now? And she was just blushing and giving me the most magical smile. And she said, yes. So for me, that was very sweet. I mean, just her expression and the way she smiled. And it was a 5-minute kind of a thing, that an exchange that happened. And it felt like she wanted somebody to talk to her, which was not her mother. And she just was craving for attention. So that for me is an incident that I remember, that how much just being there for somebody can be helpful. I didn't do anything, but just being there really helped her.
Ask you a question, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Did you face any difficulty in your career?
Yes, constant difficulties are there.
How did you
One of the
overcome?
most difficult or challenging, how did I overcome? I'm still trying to overcome. So the first difficulty or the challenge was that, like I said, I was an introvert. So and I started clowning when I was 30, when I had a stable job. I was teaching. I used to be a lecturer of sociology, and it was a well-paying job, respectful. And then I decided to become a clown. So which was a drastic change. And also, I didn't think I would be able to do this. Honestly, I was like, there was this immense fear of failure. And I thought that I don't have any background in theater. How would I be able to do this? I think overcoming was about jumping into it. And when I started doing it, I realized that everybody has an inner clown. All of us have an inner clown, which we keep very deep inside, like really covered. And when I started doing clowning, I realized that there's so much more that I can do. And that was the overcoming process. Then when I had to quit my job, when I decided to quit my job, there was the biggest difficulty was how would I earn? How would I bring more money to, like, how do I attach? Because I started as a volunteer group. And now if I charge for my sessions, what would people say? And can I really ask for value? Also, another challenge was when I was doing it completely voluntarily, people were not taking me seriously because ek to clown, like once you're a clown anyway, you're not taken seriously. And then you were giving free sessions. So everybody started calling us for smallest things, which was not really medical clowning. And we were not even taken seriously or given any importance. We were treated very badly at some places. And that is when somebody told me that till the time you don't attach a monetary value to your work, nobody respects it. And your job requires some respect, like deserves respect. So it basically was like there were difficulties and there were people who kind of supported us or gave us some guide, like they just guided us. So that's how we overcame the challenges. And we are still struggling because COVID happened and we could not go to the hospitals, and that's our primary work. So we are still struggling with finances, but we're still trying different things and trying to make things work. But thank you for asking that question.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm Shrishmita of grade 5. May I ask a question, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Do you think laughter builds confidence, ma'am?
Yes, definitely. So laughter also helps telling ourselves that I can do it, right? Like what happens when we are scared or when we are feeling underconfident, immediately our face droops down, our body feels very closed. But when we start laughing, suddenly our body opens up and we start feeling more positive. And that helps us build more confidence. And it helps that presentation, at least the outward look is that, yes, we are confident enough and we can face the world. So it does help.
Thank you, ma'am. Hariom, ma'am. I'm Atmika of grade 8. I would like to ask you a question, ma'am. May I ask you, ma'am?
Of course, of course.
Ma'am, how will you motivate the depressed patients, ma'am?
Okay. We have different kinds of activities. So when we talk about, I'm again going back to the same thing, depression is a clinical disorder. So we are not really equipped enough to help them much. But what we do is we try and spend time with them. So, and try and see what kind of therapy they need. So if there can be different patients or there can be different people with depression who respond differently to laughter. So we try and look at that and also respect the fact that maybe some people would not be interested. So there we don't try to touch them. But if it is a clinically recognized depression or which has been diagnosed, then there's not much that we as medical clowns do because they need proper counselors and not counselors. So we can only be there and try to cheer them up. But there is a fear that that might also be a trigger for them. So they might feel that we are mocking at them. So that's something that we have to be very mindful of. But yes, for stress, when we talk about stress, that if people are going through a lot of stress, anxiety, we go to all kinds of vulnerable spaces. There we have these tricks that we do. We play with them, we sing with them, we do a lot of clowning activities, which helps the stress go down. So that's the thing that we do.
Thank you,
Ma'am?
ma'am.
Yes.
When you approach it, and
When you approach patients, how do they react? Okay, I'll answer this first and then I'll end with the last question. Okay. There are different reactions. The first reaction is always amusement. That what is a clown doing in a hospital? So that amusement or curiosity is always there. And mostly 95% of the patients react very positively. They start playing with us, are just curious what is happening. So it might take some time, but there are times when a person gets scared as well. So with them, we have our own ways of dealing with it. Like, for example, if we are in a ward which has like more than 2 children, then we start playing with one child, and we don't really try to disturb the child who is fearful of us. So, and while we are playing with this child, the other child who is scared starts feeling positive and starts feeling comfortable with our presence, and immediately after some time starts playing with us. That is something that always works. And there are times when the phobia is so strong, we respectfully walk out of that room and we don't want to be the triggers. So we always have to be very sensitive to how people are reacting, but most of the time it is a very positive reaction. Even, and not just patients, even the doctors. So in India, even the doctors don't know of medical clowning. So even they find it very amusing that what are you doing? Sometimes they're like, what the hell, what are clowns doing? Who gave you the permission? And then we say that we've been coming and this is the person who gave us permission. Then they're like, okay, go ahead. And we also have activities for patients, doctors, guardians, and also the staff members, cleaning staff and everybody. So we try and involve the entire hospital staff. Okay, this is the last question for today. According to you, what one thing that everyone should be always be aware of? I might not be able to just say one, but one thing, of course, is how we are feeling, like really acknowledging our own emotional health, or how or what is our emotional being feeling like, and also how our behavior has an impact on the other person. So it's not just my emotion, but also another person that I'm dealing with constantly. So even if I am feeling something, can we still be mindful that it does not I don't cross my own boundaries. So being mindful of my own emotions and also being mindful of others' emotions. Okay. Whoever has more questions, you can follow counselors on social media if you are. Otherwise, you can tell sir and he can ask me the question. I'll have to, because I have another session, so I'll have to say bye. There is one more question. I don't know what rage rooms mean. Like, I'm not
Just a
aware
minute.
of this.
We'll go with a formal. We'll go with formal closure. Just a couple of minutes. Divya, ma'am.
No problem.
Thank you.
Divya, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Varnika?
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, students. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others. I call upon Tanishka of grade 9, her heart of gratitude, to propose the vote of thanks.
I feel euphoric to deliver the vote of thanks for this wonderful occasion. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's occasion a memorable success. Today, I'm ecstatic to take the opportunity to put all my gratitude into words. First and foremost, I thank our chief guest, Srimati Sheetal Agarwal, for her presence. We are all inspired by your gracious and inspirational speech, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I thank our respected chairman and secretary for their unstinted support. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. Our heartfelt thanks to our guest, Dr. P. Ravi and Srimati Mallika Sridhar. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. Our thanks extends to all the principal of associate schools. Thank you all. We owe special gratitude to our principal for his word of encouragement. His able guidance always encouraged us. Thank you, sir. I thank all the parents and teachers for their presence. Finally, I would give regards and appreciation to all the people who made this occasion a reality and successful. This could not have been possible without the sheer contribution of you all. Once again, I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a great session and a wonderful experience. And I forgot my age and I've just joined children along with you. We enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
That's really important. It's important to be silly.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
We'll
loved
keep
it,
in
and I
touch.
would love to see children smiling.
Children, come on, video and smile. Let's give a bye through smiling face. Could you please come on video, smile. Yeah, let's end up session with a beautiful smile. Yeah,
I'll take one
excellent.
picture. Okay, so keep smiling. I'll take a picture.
Yeah, keep smiling.
Show me your E wala smile. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. I had fun.
Thank
I
you.
hope you also remember to just smile and laugh and stay positive. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.